So at some capacity, it's my fault.
For catching ammonia.
Yeah, what'd you get pneumonia for?
I'll be saying ammonia the whole time.
I think you just said it the one time. That's it.
No, but I'll be saying now. I'll be saying it on purpose.
You won't be the first. Yeah. Which there's a lot of people I work with that already said the same thing.
When someone wants to say specific, they always say Pacific.
Yeah. Can I be more Pacific?
Yeah. Can I be more Pacific?
Well, you see me tagged in all those Facebook posts about that's my thing. It's, I'm known as a grammar Nazi.
Got to hang your hat on something.
Yeah, right. Well, I always had a teacher. Lazy grammar is a sign of a lazy mind.
Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. I am here with my co-host who's knocking on death's door. He's got ammonia. Pneumonia, you dimwit.
Say that one more time.
Say that one more time. So you're
How
back
you
from
doing?
you're back from the dead, huh?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? I know you were sick, really, really sick.
Yeah, I had walking pneumonia, and evidently I was walking around with it for quite a while, like maybe upwards over a month, based on...
Wow, even your pneumonia isn't lazy.
No.
See, like I would have pneumonia. I would just have like regular old plain, I want to lay down pneumonia. Not you. You're like, I have walking pneumonia.
Yeah, well, that's what they told me, so... yeah, it all started, well, you know how...
It was a while ago. I mean, you were sick for... It was about a month ago, I guess, right?
Well, that was back in like May, June when I had that laryngitis thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You think you've had it since then?
I don't know. I don't know if I had it that long, but I guess maybe I just never really bounced back from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice like the last month and a half, I was really tired, really out of it. And it's just been, this was so freaking hot here this summer, this year.
That
it really didn't make you want to do anything. So I just figured, well, it's just too hot. I'm run down. I'm tired of this summer being this hot. I just figured that's what it was. Well, it's going on a couple of weeks now at this point. I'd have like headaches, mild headaches. Didn't really feel bad, but it was just like, well, I'll just take a couple of Advils for the headaches. Well, the last day that I was at work, that I worked, I was really rough. I had a headache. I had fever. Aches and pains, and they started to name people if they wanted to go home early. And I never go home early. I just stay. Once they got me, they got me. But
right.
That particular day, I was like, if it gets to my name, I'm going home.
Yeah. And
it got to my name. And that was on a Friday. And I got home probably about 4:30, which is really, really early for me. By the time I get home, it's usually about 7:30. And I ate something, and I jumped in the shower, and I went to bed, and I stayed in bed for 4 days. Didn't get out of bed at all. I mean, obviously to eat, and I just watched TV. I just figured, well, I just got to get this out of my system. I thought I had a cold. I thought I had a flu at the worst because I had fever, aches, pains. But I wasn't coughing. I wasn't sneezing. I wasn't congested at all. No loss of appetite. And then come like Sunday, I'm worse. I'm like, well, okay, maybe this is it. Drenching sweats, trembling, freezing.
Oh, I hate that.
So it was just like, and like every time I would come out of sleep and this raging, drenching sweats. I said, well, that's it. The fever finally broke.
Thank God the fever broke. Yay. And then no.
But then it came back.
Yeah, see, that's
So
horrible.
now it's like Monday. And I said to Diane, you got to take me to one of those urgent cares because I got to get a flu shot or something. This is really serious. And I've never had a flu shot in my life. I don't particularly believe in them. But
Right.
at that point, I was so far out. I said, I need them to do something. I knew at that point I was not going to work. I couldn't. There was no way I could work.
Piss on a fence charger at that point just to make it go away.
So, yeah, you're up for anything. So I go there, and they go through all the examinations. I said, well, you don't have the flu.
How do they know that?
Well, because of the combinations of my symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
my blood pressure was still low. My pulse was normal. No congestion, nothing, no coughing, no sneezing. He says, you don't have the flu.
I thought maybe they took here, spit on this thing and we'll test it.
Basically, it was just based on physical, evidence.
Right.
And they just basically, now there is one aspect that they didn't catch that I the doctor did the next day. But they said, you don't have the flu. And I said, well, what do I have? If I don't have a cold or a flu and my temperature is so high, I'm clearly trying to fight something off.
Right.
Well, we don't know. But that's all we can do for you now.
Because they only practice medicine.
Right.
We don't have it right yet. We're just practicing.
Right. So right then and there, I called my doctor and I strong-armed them into taking me in the next day.
Listen, I'm coming in and you better be there.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much, I didn't even see the doctor that I normally see. There's like, one of those, like any other place nowadays, there's like 900 doctors in there. So I said, well, who do you want to see? I said, I don't care. I have to see somebody. I mean, well, I'm really, really bad.
We have an opening in 2 weeks.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
Listen, 2 weeks. I'll be dead in 2 weeks.
They lucked out. I mean, they said, well, we got this opening at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do you want that? Fine, I'll be there.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm like desperate
bell's
now.
on.
So I get in there the next day. The doctor comes in, and a woman doctor, and she examines me. She's really hovering. I mean, she was really old school medicine, like the way my father-in-law was. He was a doctor. And she keeps listening to my chest, and then she's going to my back, and she says, I'm going to order up a lot of work on you. I says, but I think you've got pneumonia. And then I was like, what? Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing you think you're going to hear.
Yeah.
So she says, we're going to do blood work and we're going to do a chest x-ray. That's what it'll tell us. We can do that right now. We're going to do a CT scan. So, next thing I know, the whole rest of the day, I was on tests. That was it. Tuesday night, they called me up and said, yep, you got pneumonia.
Thank you.
So now, at least now they know what they could treat it with. And they, I've been taking the medication now. So this is going over a week now with this, and now I can finally podcast. But it was rough. I mean, there was a couple of like dying. How do you feel? I said, I just want to die.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, I always used to kind of like brag that I don't get sick.
Oh, not me. I don't get sick.
Yeah. But now, boy, when I do, I'm not going to mess around with the flu. No, I'm going to go right for pneumonia. Well, I saw my chest x-ray at the follow-up visit. And like the bottom, I don't know how big your lungs are, but like the bottom portion of like it was just like all grayish black.
You think that they actually show you, that shows you something? Because like whenever I don't even know why you do x-rays anymore.
Unless that'll show pneumonia right away because
Really?
your lungs are filling up with fluid.
Ew.
That's what that is. And that's what my body was trying to fight off.
Well, you know what? That makes sense because back, I don't know, over a year ago, I had to go in. I was on that stupid, I forget whatever what program was that on. I was trying to lose weight. And they're like, oh, you have to drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. All right, and I'm trying to drown myself because I'm a big boy. That's a lot of water. Yeah. And I drank so much water that I couldn't get rid of it. I wasn't peeing it out, and it was kind of filling up my, around. I had all this fluid, like I was swelling up like a tick. And they did an X-ray on me, so I guess they figured that I had fluid in my lungs and everything. So then they put me on Lasix, which that's a lot of fun. Yeah, you keep running back.
Yeah, you were talking about that with the. In fact, I think that's the last time I recorded with you was that podcast,
which was what.
And when you talked about that on the
was that with the Threes
Brand X podcast? Yeah, that's the last time that we've sat, and that's we're going on 3 weeks since that podcast, since we recorded that. But that's how I spent my last week and a half. And the only thing I can say I had going for me that they didn't have to throw me into a van like a side of beef like they did to Hillary Clinton when she had pneumonia. So
yes,
because I tell you what, I wasn't that far away from that at that point.
Oh, you have a little sympathy for Hillary now?
No.
Okay.
But I wasn't that far away from that because by the time they figured out I had pneumonia, I was trying to fight it myself for 6 days.
Yeah. See?
And look how fast, no wonder people die of pneumonia.
Right. She's old.
You just think it's a cold. It is not.
Right. And that whole breathing thing is important. That's what I've learned. And speaking of Three is comedy, this Friday coming up, it'll be their 200th episode.
Yeah, that's epic.
So they've been pumping them out, man. 3 a week. They don't take no time off.
No, they do not.
And they don't have anybody that has an issue with editing like me. So they do. So congratulations to Jason, Bob, and Mindy on their 200th episode.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
And so, yeah, maybe we'll make 200. It'll probably be the year of our, we'll be in our 70s. We might make 200 episodes. We'll see what happens.
If I don't get pneumonia again.
Well, you, look at me. I got all this stuff going on too. I mean, I just went through that whole, because I'm going for surgery, hopefully. And they do that. They check your heart, so I had to go in and they did this echocardiogram. So you take your shirt off and then they squirt that goo all over you. And then they put that thing on there that, what's it called?
Is that for the ultrasound?
Yeah, the ultrasound. Right. And then they shoot. And then afterwards, like they give you this towel and they're like, okay, clean yourself up. And I'm thinking to myself, oof, you know what? This is horrible.
Yeah, just like you got out of an alien movie.
Yeah, and I think I got to call some girls up and kind of apologize. I had that done, and I seem to have a strong heart. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, you go through all that kind of stuff. And here's the other thing. Doctors, they don't tell you anything. Like, they don't tell you. Like, I said to them, well, what's going on? Well, I can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? What am I paying you for? What do you mean you can't tell me? Yeah. Well, we have to have this person tell you. Well, where's he at? Well, we need to make another appointment. It's a whole racket.
Well, I got you. So yeah. I had to say to the doctor that I wound up getting just because I just strong arm my way in there. Mm-hmm. You give me an appointment somehow. I'm dying here. She was great. She was a really just on everything the way she handled it. She called it. I don't know why the person the night before when I went to the urgent care didn't hear the rattling around in my lung.
Yeah, you would think that would be the first thing they'd hear.
I don't know. Maybe my lung filled up that much more with fluid. I don't know. You never know. But I have to say, I mean, thank God I got this doctor because, and the follow-up, it was...
Well, like urgent care. I mean, the doctors are in urgent care. Aren't they like the Walmart of doctors?
Well, sort of like the I treat it as the in-between going to the emergency room. Like,
yeah, but what quality of doctor? Like, if you're a really good doctor, you don't need to be working in an urgent care. Like, an urgent care to me is like the superstore of doctors. You're going to get what you get. And there's not really that many in there anyhow.
I think the bulk of them are nurse practitioners.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Right.
See, here's what I went. I mean, I woke up one day and I had my eye was completely red.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's a nice disconcerting thing. And I thought, oh my God, I have pink eye or something, I mean, yeah. So I go to the urgent care and they just said, no, it was just a hemoglobin, a
hematobin.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I had. And basically what it was,
Well, how did you get that? Usually I got to get a punch in the face to get one of those. How did you just wake up with one?
Well, they said it's pretty common if you sneeze real hard or cough real hard and you'll burst a blood vessel in your eye.
Well, did you sneeze real hard? I mean,
the night before I was cutting the grass and I was hacking my brain because I got allergies.
Okay.
And I was hacking my brains. Well, apparently I was hacking my brains out so hard I burst a blood vessel. Jumped in the shower, went to bed, woke up the next day, and my eye was completely red. So I'm thinking I must have got pink eye somehow. I never even knew that was possible. So, I mean, it's good for stuff like that, because you're not going to go to the emergency room for something like, we're not going to sit in there for 5 hours.
And they don't do anything. Here's the thing. The only thing the emergency room is for them to stop you from dying until you get to your regular doctor.
Right.
They're not going to do anything for you. Is he dying? No, send him home. Tell him to go see his regular doctor.
Right.
They're there if you break a bone. Or like if, a car accident or
if you're away from home.
Right. There we go. Or a heart attack. Something like that. That's what
I always feel like a stranger in my own country when I'm in an emergency room.
So you're saying, well, the people from another land are there? A lot of people there from another land?
Doing the work that nobody ever wants to do. That's what I'm always told anyway, so... Who did that job before that?
Well, I know. I know. Here we go. I got to go there now. See, have you found? I'm sure you feel the same way. Like the people that you see, friends, acquaintances, on social media, we hang on Facebook. That's seems to be our social media of choice. What would we call it? The venom that comes out over this election is phenomenal. I mean, family members, friends, I mean, they're on both sides, and it's horrible. I mean, are you finding that?
Well, I think it's been that way since...
Really?
It really started, I think, with the 2000 election when Bush won, when he prevailed.
Oh, with the hanging Chad?
Right. I think that's a little bit... And then I think it got worse in 2004 because I think that the Democrats thought that John Kerry was so head and shoulders above George W. Bush that there was no way he was going to win re-election. And when he did, it just flummoxed him so bad. So now every election is a scorched earth policy.
It's
unfortunately
amazing.
With these two candidates that we have that are both so deeply flawed that everyone, just digs in and like a tick.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much material. You know me. I like to shake the cage a little. I don't mind a good old-fashioned debate. So I rattle some sabers or, I...
Rattle some cages.
Cages. What did I say? Sabers?
Yeah, if you're saber rattling, then you're like Iran.
Hit that thing again. Hit that sound effect. Say that again.
Say that one more time.
There you go. Rattle sabers. Anyhow.
No, there is a term, but you were just not using the correct term.
I don't know what's wrong with me. My mind, it was saying cages. I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. So anyhow, I got on there, and I forget what I even... Well, see, my guy is Johnson, and I think the rest of you are crazy.
And what is Aleppo?
Yeah, there you go. And what is Aleppo? So, God, I wish I just grab him right in the pussy. Because, once a guy says...
And what is Aleppo?
Right. And once a guy...
What I like best about that whole point is you look at Gary Johnson's face, and...
He has no clue what it is.
Right. And
Nothing.
he's just lost. And he's like...
What is Aleppo?
He reminds me of the cult leader from the Heaven's Gate back in the day.
Okay.
Just like...
But see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So he goes...
And what is Aleppo?
And then all of a sudden, the guy that's asking the questions, it's like somebody just showered him with money. He's like, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. So
You're kidding, right?
So he is like, he had no idea. And I don't know what that is. And again, I'm not here to fight over, which candidate is the best because it's really not a fight. Mine's the best. But anyhow, he didn't know who it was. And again, he's not in that whole world right yet. But, if ever by chance he ever gets to be the president, which I don't know, if these two just keep, digging their own graves, I don't see where there's going to be anything left.
He's not even going to win the state.
I don't know. We'll see. I can't even trust the polls anymore because.
Well, there's a lot of validity there because I think people are lying about who they're supporting.
Really?
Because they don't want to get beat up by the pollsters.
Right. Or forget about the pollsters, just about the opposition. I've never seen it so angry on both sides. Like the Clinton people or the Democrats or the liberals, they're supposed to be for peace and harmony and all that. And if you have a Donald Trump, if you're a Trump supporter, they come after you with the heat of 1,000 suns. And then the same thing on the other side. Now, not everybody, but the lunatic fringe, they're crazy.
Well, there is a difference in the lunatic fringe on both sides. Like you seen the video of the guy with the Trump hat getting chased down in the streets and beaten up,
right?
For wearing a Trump hat.
And a woman had a Trump shirt, I think it was, and she got hit with eggs.
Yeah, I think that was staged. I think she was an actress doing something.
Oh, and they threw eggs at her? See, and then you don't even know because it's so
you
crazy.
find out about it 2 or 3 days later, and you got to be a real political wonk and follow up on that stuff. And by that point, it's like, who cares? This girl got her 15 minutes of fame on social media, and and that's that brings up that whole Ken Bone thing that I brought up. It's like, as a country, are people that vapid that they're looking to just get their fame?
Yeah,
it was
whatever.
just a whole weird thing.
Yeah, I guess. And then, that was like the last election with Joe the plumber. They always tried out somebody and make him like a he gets his 15 minutes of fame. Well, I guess she's getting. Well, she didn't. It was just she didn't even get
Jared
anything.
the plumber. That was a whole weird thing because there's Obama right there saying, "I think it's great to spread the wealth around," and the media's response was not question Obama on what he meant by that, but was to attack Joe the plumber. That's exactly what happened.
Him for asking that question.
How
dare you ask that question?
And now with all these WikiLeaks that are coming out, I mean, me as a conservative, we've been screaming out about the media bias for years now, and everyone just kind of poo-poos. I was like, yeah. Well, now it's coming out like how they're. I mean, they're literally like Pravda in the old Soviet Union. They are lock, stock, and barrel in the shoot for the Democrats. It's beyond the pale. It's worse than I even thought.
Well, I see it now because, they're all, and listen, trust me, they have plenty of ammunition with Trump. And then here's the other thing.
Well, he's the gift that keeps on giving.
He does. He can't stop himself. So then here's the other thing. So now you got Clinton on the other side. All right. And as soon as they start with Trump, the first thing she does is she lays low like a cat that shit on a rug. You don't hear nothing from her. It's like, don't anybody move, And then all of a sudden they get a story on her, like they leak emails, and then something comes out that's really damaged on her. And then the next thing you know, she's tap dancing over there. Where's my tap dancing thing? I got rid of it. But she's over there tap dancing, trying to get out of it. And you figure that Trump would lay low. No, not him. He says another stupid thing. And then the next thing you know, they run over to him again and they start on him again. It's just like he's like a boy that doesn't know when to shut up. He's getting his ass kicked and he won't shut up.
And the whole thing is with the WikiLeaks thing is the mainstream media who this is affecting is the major networks, the New York Times, Washington Post. They act by not reporting it that it's not a real story.
Right.
And unfortunately, but fortunately for Hillary, that's the electorate that we have now. They just think, well, if CBS didn't report it, then it must be bullshit, and not worth. Oh, only Fox News picked it up. Well, there you go. Right. That's the first thing you hear. But if it wasn't for Fox and a couple of independent or conservative newspapers,
right?
You would never hear this stuff. And if she wins the election, you'll never hear this stuff ever again because they've got plans with these judges that they're going to appoint to that Supreme Court. You can bet you that.
What, do you think they're going to take away the internet where you can't do it? We can't do what we're doing right now?
I'm very fearful for this country for the fact that this isn't like one of those things like, well, okay, maybe 4 years we can vote her out. If she gets in, the country's doomed. And because Donald Trump may not be able to get the judges that he wants in to the Supreme Court should he win, but at least he'll get somebody in there that's sane. You can absolutely count on Hillary Clinton packing that court with Ruth Bader Ginsburg's and Breyer's and
everybody's insane.
And then they'll start with the Second Amendment, but then they'll tweak the First Amendment. There's already WikiLeaks that they're telling the Catholic Church has to be brought to heel. I mean, can you imagine? They're not saying that about Jews or Jews or Muslims.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine? And have you seen that spoken about anywhere?
Nope.
Outside of on WikiLeaks?
Nope.
Yeah, they're just, and Obama's already said, well, we should be giving up some freedoms. They want one world government. And the only way you can do that, in my opinion, you can't bring all the other countries up to our level. So you have to drag us down.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So it's not, she wins, we'll win it back in 4 years. And if she wins, we're done. We are a banana republic, in my opinion. I'm scared.
So am I. On both sides. Terrified. Terrified of her. Terrified of him. I don't think he can win. I really don't. I think
it's possible. I mean, there's a lot that's going on between now and then.
He's pulling money out of all. He is concentrating all his money on the 3 big states to try to win them. And, he's pulling his money out of everywhere else. Unfortunately for us, we live in the area that's, our media is Philadelphia, and Pennsylvania is one of the states he's dumping a lot of money on. So now we are being every other commercial and I mean every other commercial is a Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump commercial, and it makes you want to stop watching TV. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And there's my guy clawing away, just talking.
And what is Aleppo?
Yeah, there he is, and he's just talking about the issues and what he would do and how he was going to handle this and how he's going to handle that, and nobody's paying attention. And I think the rest of the country's crazy. I can't believe this guy's not winning in a landslide against these other two boobs. But what do I know?
Well, he's not the strongest libertarian candidate there was from what I knew.
He's not, but he's still better than what you have here. Again.
Well, the real candidate that he ran against and won the nomination for was I think a lifelong libertarian. So there's a lot of dissension among the libertarians over
I don't know.
And what is Aleppo?
Getting the nomination.
Right. So
then he didn't get it. He got a double whammy there with that.
He didn't know the
with Chris Matthews.
He didn't know the political leaders. He didn't know a political leader.
Yeah, it was just like,
right.
And, Chris Matthews is not exactly. I mean, to me, it's like Chris Matthews interviewing shit. It's just like Sam Kinison. It's like, say it, which is like, he just like browbeats you. Say it. Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, how'd you to be sitting on that panel, getting his, because Chris Matthews is like a boss that I used to have. He would ask you a question, you're 3 words in, and then he's all over you, and you never get a chance to answer.
Right. So that's what
because he's going to be right no matter what. That's Chris Matthews' shtick in a nutshell.
Yeah. And again, listen, I'm not saying that Gary Johnson is like the end-all, be-all, best candidate in the world, but I'll tell you what, he is head and shoulders above these two numbnuts. And and again, they're so dangerous. Either side is so dangerous. Like, okay, I know he doesn't know what Aleppo is, but if you had your choice between Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, or Gary Johnson picking Supreme Court justices, who would you rather, out of those three, who would you rather have picked the Supreme Court justice?
I already saw his answer that he gave about Supreme Court justice, so I'm going to go with Donald Trump on that one.
But you don't even know what Trump's going to do. He's just telling you what you want to hear.
No, I saw the list of the people that he would posit for the court, and then I saw who Gary Johnson would posit toward the court. I was like, and this is why libertarians always lose me, and I will go with Trump.
Okay, so here's my big thing about this whole election, and again, with the Supreme Court justices, it's more important than ever. So now you have the Republican Party, which is on fire. It's a dumpster fire. The party's on a dumpster fire right now. People are running.
It's not as much of a dumpster fire as people would like to have you believe.
You're a little too close to the dumpster, my friend. It's a dumpster fire. I know.
It's not a dumpster fire because there's the same things going on in the Democrat Party, but the media are the guardians of the gate and they're not reporting it.
All right, listen. All right. I know that, you're a conservative and you're a Republican. I got that, okay? And here's here's what I'm trying to say to you. Yes, just because the Republican campaign right now is a dumpster fire, I will give you the Democrat campaign is a dumpster fire. They both are. And Republicans and Democrats alike do this. Well, something happens. Trump says, "Oh, I just like to grab him right in the pussy." Right? Now, all of a sudden, all the conservatives go, "Well, look what Bill Clinton did. How's it okay for that?" Well, it's not okay for that.
Well, what conservatives said that?
Tons, I see. They all tons. Again, when I say tons, I'm looking at what's being said on Facebook, and their big thing is like, "Oh, what's the big deal? Bill Clinton did it. Look what Bill Clinton did." I'm like, you guys had shovels out, and we're burying him for that. Now you're.
But wait, when you say people, are you saying the people at large, or are you saying politicians?
No, people at large. I'm looking on social media, like Facebook. The reaction to when he said that, like, it's like I can just see now. It's after that report comes out, people are like, Trump supporters are like, "Gee, what? Now how do I spin this?" So they go, and now they're like saying it's okay, or the women are, it's the women's fault, or why don't make such a big deal out of it? And it's huge. It's a huge deal. Now, I'm not saying that the other side don't have their warts and issues. They do. They absolutely do. But what happens now is you have women that if the shoe was on the other foot, if he was a Democrat, they would have, like I always say, they get their shovels out and dig a hole and bury this guy. And that's what's going on here. And there's my guy just talking about the issues. I don't know. To me, it's and again, that whole.
The only moral equivalency I can see anybody who's probably trying to make that is the difference was in 2005, Trump is a private citizen. And when what Bill Clinton did, he was president of the United States.
You know what? I'll give you that. Okay. But, and here we're both.
But citing bad behavior to condone bad behavior is a net zero gain.
Right.
It's just
we're two guys. All right. We've known each other for a long time. We've been out in social situations. We've been out to bars.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday! I missed your birthday when I was dying of pneumonia.
Well, thank you.
Sorry.
So way to change the subject. No. So anyhow, we've been out. We've seen beautiful women walk by, and we've talked about women that we thought were very attractive. In any of that time, did we ever make that derogatory of a remark against a woman?
Yes.
We have? We said I would just grab them in the butt. Now, listen, there's nothing like, listen, we all said, hey, I wouldn't mind a piece of that. Okay.
We have made references
like that?
Amongst ourselves. Well, not that specific. That Trump can patent that one. He owns that one. But
I'm trying to think what I said. Nice rack. Look at the ass on that.
Yeah, and that's not the same.
It's not the same as I'd like to grab them. It's not the same as sexual assault.
No, come on.
I'd like to grab them right in the pussy. Come on. It's like, I'm talking about where you would walk up and, grab them in the ass or, something like that. We're more respectful than that. No?
We didn't act on it.
Did we even say?
I
That's
can
true.
think of a couple. I can think of a few colorful metaphors that have been slung across beer mugs over the years among all of us when we used to get together.
I don't think something like that. I've never seen anybody be.
I can rekindle your memory.
Rekindle my memory. I can always cut this out.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not rolling anybody. I'm not putting on the Ralph Cramden uniform and driving the bus over somebody tonight. I'm not.
Is it me?
That. Huh?
Was it me?
No, all will be revealed.
Well, now it's not fair. You got it's like you have.
No, it's not my fault. You have a piss poor memory.
Well, that's true.
You'll do better next time around. Can't help it if you're genetically inferior.
But I'm saying here, you've got carte blanche to refresh my memory on something I've said where it's been that.
I'm not sure exactly who said what. Okay. But
all right, so we'll say an anonymous person.
Anonymous people. It wasn't just one person. In our group of people, there was like minimum of
4,
5. And then sometimes it would swell as high as 7 or 8.
Okay.
And there's a lot of, guy talk.
Okay. What was the worst thing that we said that you remember?
Was that you or me?
My stupid phone.
Came crystal clear through my headphones.
Go ahead. Well, so what was said?
I remember some girl with incredible lower back pain was walking by, and somebody said, "Boy, they would like to grapple with those two cats in a bag."
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, I do, because it was one of the funniest expressions I have ever heard of a woman with huge bosoms encased in a tight-fitting sweater.
Well, that's a different story. Did we say that we wanted to grab them? Not we.
Yeah, somebody said that.
Oh. Well, maybe he was being supportive. Maybe he wanted to support them so her back didn't hurt so much.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he wanted to do.
All right, we're all pigs.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But I don't know. I just don't think, I don't know. I just think that's.
Even Diane, she heard about this because as I was laying near death, sweating.
Right.
And she came up, and that's when the news broke about this.
Right.
Because I went right to bed Friday night, like I said. So the next day she says, "Well, I just think you guys all talk like that because you're all pigs." That's exactly
she does.
But
She does.
But But she was like, she was like good with it because she just figures that that's how all guys are because she works with guys.
And I got to get, and I'll put this out there that I cannot stand Donald Trump and I don't want him to be president. So anything that the guy's going to say that's even a little bit negative, I'm going to go after it. Just like you do when you say, "Where's Aleppo?"
No, what is
Aleppo?
See, there's your bad memory.
There we go.
There you go
listen,
again.
I was saying ammonia earlier.
Ammonia.
Jeez, how's your ammonia? I still have a half a bottle under the sink.
You got a touch of that ammonia.
Yeah, you got a touch of that ammonia.
Yeah, it's just.
Damn, what happened to Deuce? I didn't know he got that ammonia. I told him shouldn't be out there in all that rain.
Yeah,
I was very specific with him. You keep getting wet like that and staying out in the cold, you're going to get ammonia.
Well, what was I opposed to do?
I was supposed to listen. I asked him that.
Let me ask you
something. I hope not. I don't want to be asked at all.
Please don't ask me.
Please don't ask me. That's not axe. I mean, if you're going to do axe, it's something.
Obama!
Yeah. Let me ask you something. What's that? If you say so.
And as I said, I noted that that's why I never defend the guy. I'm voting for him, but I never defend him.
Right.
It's just and what people are forgetting, up until 5 minutes ago, Donald Trump was a Democrat.
Exactly.
That's what you've got.
Right.
Unfortunately, the way the primary system works is some states you can just cross right over. You don't have to be although some Democrats have re-registered. See, that's why I don't know what to believe. I mean, if you look at the polls right now at this time, it looks like he's going to lose by about 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But then you got the crazy vote out there, and that's people like you that are going to go third party because that hurts Hillary. So
I think it hurts both sides, to be quite honest with you.
Well, the polling that I follow, and it tends, Jill Stein, all of her voters are lock, stock, would vote for Hillary.
Right. That's true.
Gary Johnson's he's tracking at about like 5 now.
I see higher than that. I see he's in the 10, 11%. And then you go and you see.
Are you looking at a national or are you looking at a regional or the state by state?
Now, I wish I was able to tell you what I was looking at, but it was something that was, again, put on Facebook, and you look and what
don't use anything that anyone puts on Facebook. I don't use.
Really?
I use Real Clear Politics.
Here's the thing. So the conservative side, the first thing they want to do is there was links. So there was a post on Facebook where the person made a statement, boy, they're really burying Trump. And you know something, the media is so heavy-handed on Trump bashing, and they don't say anything about what Clinton's doing. And I said, I don't know. I see news and everything, and I see both sides. But, to be honest with you, I don't watch regular news. I didn't watch the debate. Because when you said something about Ken Bone, I'm like, who the hell's Ken Bone?
Well, I didn't even know. You want to do that now? We'll get into that?
Well, yeah. But let me just finish up this point.
Sure, go
ahead. And I said that I think it's both sides. I mean, Clinton's or the liberal side, they have CNN, and the mainstream media. But then Trump has Fox News. And Fox News they are doing their share of Clinton bashing. And I said, that you are drawn to the news that you would like to agree with. You're kind of drawn to that side. You want to listen to that. And then you'll go listen to the other side only to refute it. So the guy goes, well, where's your documentation? Show me the links. And I'm like, yeah, you conservative and your links. That's all you want is links. I got time to go around and research your crap. I could give a shit. I just stumbled across this post, and now all of a sudden I have to go and prove myself, right? I said,
did you know this guy?
No, I have no idea who he was.
Okay, that's one of the reasons. Yeah, that's what I call. People have to curb their inner Batman.
Right. So it's like when I forget. I don't know. Somebody again, my stupid brain. Here's the other thing. I make a post, and then my friends come in, and they say something. And then my other friends come in who don't know my other friends. And next thing you know, they're in there and it's a Donnybrook. And then I have to come in there and say, all right, you knock it off. Yeah. Listen, if you're not a friend of my friend, you can't address them. All right. If you're my friend and you know that other person and you know each other and you want to have at it, by all means. But if you are a friend of mine and another friend comes in and says something, you can't pounce on them. That's not allowed.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest issues with Facebook. I mean, it just made no sense. Why am I fighting with someone I don't even know half a continent away?
I know.
It's just like, and dude, I'll kick your ass. And like as Joe said, responded to someone brilliantly on Facebook, how are you going to do that? Type on your keys real hard? I mean, just like, how are you going to kick my ass?
Over what?
Oh, I don't even know. It was one of the funniest things Joe had come. But yeah, so it's not even worth it anymore. But regarding what you said, Fox, unfortunately, by and large, the network itself is pretty down the middle. I will say that unfortunately, right now,
it's not down the middle.
Absolutely,
it's not down the middle. They do not do any. They do not do any positive stories about anybody liberal.
As a news organization, if you watch the hard stock news, they are down the middle. They shoot it straight. They'll have representation on both sides. Now, when you get into their personalities, and you didn't let me finish before you guffawed rudely at me.
Yes, I did do that.
Okay, you do have Sean Hannity, who is shamelessly in the tank for Donald Trump.
Sure he is. And
shamelessly in the tank for him.
And who's the other broad, the judge? What's her name? Or the lawyer?
Judge Janine?
I think that's her name. She's over there. She's another one. She's very...
Janine Pirro?
Probably, yes. And then you have that girl that she's on Facebook all the time, the little blonde that's on the Blaze, the one with...
she's not on Fox.
I know. I said she's on Blaze, the Blaze Network. Her name's Tommy Lauren or something like that.
Yeah.
She's always on her. She's another one. Trump could drown a baby in a tub in front of her, and she would just say, well, you know something? You guys are all pro-choice.
If you were to watch, if you were to go on the personalities shows, Megyn Kelly dishes it out on both sides.
Yeah.
And, even though Donald Trump was pretty shitty to her.
That's true.
She does extend him a modicum of respect, only because he's a candidate. Bill O'Reilly, he's pretty straight down the middle. He doesn't like anything that's just, conjecture. He just doesn't even allow it. But, and the ratings are there to bear it out. Because if it was only conservatives watched Fox News, why would they be number one for the last 14 years?
Oh, well, because
they've got a product.
No. I wish that was true. I really do. But that's not why. Because liberals come in to watch it just to disagree with it. It's the same thing with the Howard Stern. Why do they listen?
Come on.
Because 54% of his fans listen, and then 54% of his detractors listen. Well, why do they listen?
Throughout the day. This is going on throughout the day, watching the news. John.
I understand.
I'm talking a 24-hour day.
Right.
So they're all tuning in all day long to watch, the hard news segment from 9 to 1, and then the other hard news segment from like 2 to 4, and then the other hard news segment from 6 to 7, just to make fun of it. That's how much news there is on Fox. But if you ask the average person on Facebook or out there in the wilderness, they think it's all Sean Hannity 24 hours a day.
No, I don't think
because
they
that's
believe
what
that.
The media peddles.
Well, I don't think they believe that. But again,
Oh, I do. I think all they think it is Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity.
But see, now I'll just use myself as an example. Like, say something happens, something big that happens. I don't know, the riots that were going on. I will go to CNN and MSNBC and Fox, and I will look at the coverage to see, who's looking at what, who has the better not better coverage, but who's got a different angle of what's going on. And I will look at both sides. So, same thing, I don't know, when they just had that hurricane that came up the coast. I will, look both sides. Now, see, my problem was I would always be locked on the Weather Channel. But, of course, my cable company decided they weren't going to pay them anymore. So now I'm stuck with AccuWeather, which they're like the wet, pissy blanket of weather. They give you your weather, but they don't really do the job that the Weather Channel does. And I have no choice. I get a package. You know, I can't say, well, they could say, okay, what weather channel do you want? AccuWeather or the Weather Channel? And I would say the Weather Channel. See, I feel that we should be able to pick our stations. Like, okay, I want to buy...
I've said that for years for this reason alone, okay? I assume you're talking of the Evil Empire Comcast.
Well, I don't have Comcast. I have the Evil Empire Verizon Fios.
Okay, well, I got Comcast. Right. All right, I got basic cable, no premium channels, okay. So, and with the high-speed internet, it's costing me $179 a month. Okay, and that's no HBO, no Cinemax, no nothing on it. And it's ridiculous. Now, out of that basic package that I'm getting, there are, as to my last count, there's 5, like you said, I should be able to, like, pick. Right. But out of all these channels that I'm watching, there's 5 of them that I'll never watch because I don't speak.
That's true.
Now, why can't I
get rid of those?
Take those 5 channels and give me 5 channels of my choice, and to that you get extended the big middle finger.
Right, exactly. Because they don't have to give you dick or bubble gum. Right, and they're always out of bubble gum.
But they're going to cater to this, but they're not going to cater to me. Right. You know, it's just like and it's kind of frustrating to me. Like I'm never going to watch those channels.
Am I going to watch?
I'm never going to learn Spanish.
Right. Well, forget about Spanish. Let's talk about the English-speaking channels. Like, am I ever going to watch the Jewelry Channel? Am I ever going to watch?
QVC.
QVC? No, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch any.
Diane is single-handedly keeping the economy alive thanks to the QVC. So.
Well, I'm doing my part on Amazon.com. So I don't don't get me wrong. I do my fair share of shopping through the internet, but
and some channels just suck anymore. The History Channel sucks.
It's terrible. So there's all these horrible channels. Like MTV. They just had their 35-year anniversary, 35 years. Yeah. And I'm like, why even call it MTV anymore? It's just, it should be called RTV, now. Reality TV. Right. It's just not, they don't play any music on it whatsoever.
Well, they do. I was excited because they said they're going to they rebranded VH1 as MTV Classic.
Okay.
So I was kind of excited about that at first because I thought, based on the fooling me of the promos that they showed all the videos that I grew up with from 1981 on when MTV came on. I was still in high school then. You had just graduated. And that was like kind of the golden age of music videos. It was like that first 7 or 8 years that MTV was on.
We would sit there Saturday morning. And remember, I was 81. Was I 20? Yeah, I was 20. I was 20 years old. And we would sit there Saturday morning and watch music videos like we would watch cartoons. Right. And they would just roll on by. But you just don't have that anymore. And to be honest with you.
Well, I thought that's what they were going to show.
Well, what do they show?
But they're not. Do you have like a segment? Excuse me.
Hey, get that all straightened out over there because you're rattling around pretty good.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, I guess I sound better.
Yes.
Ha-ha. Yeah. I thought they would show, all those videos, but they don't. They have like a 90s. It's just like VH1 was. They have like the 90s. Right. They have the 80s. They have, and then they have the bullshit reality show. They started showing the real world again, which was the beginning of the end of MTV when they started that crap. I just wanted to watch the talking heads, doing.
But, okay, so here we are. We're sitting here. Talking, right? So now I'm just going to go right to, and it's not like we can't watch them. It's just we can't sit there and watch it on channel. So if I go Talking Heads, Once in a Lifetime. There it is. So I can play it right now. I can just, here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if there's a commercial. Well, they play a commercial first.
Skip ad, Right. And that's what really excited me because when we were watching MTV, we didn't have gigantic television sets like we have now. Right. We had like a 25-inch, maybe if you had a 28-inch TV back then, that was as big as they made them back then.
Right.
I mean, imagine how awesome it would be to see like Sledgehammer on a big 52-inch TV.
Well, that's true too. So that's what you want to see.
That's what I was excited about.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this will be cool.
You think, but see, what you don't realize too is it's also 80s technology. So it's not like crystal clear HD like they're making now.
Yeah, but I see Lawrence of Arabia, which was made in 1962 on a big 52-inch TV, and it's pretty goddamn exciting.
Okay, all right, calm down.
That's 1.5 times speed.
Say it! Say
was the worst hangover I've ever had. Was a tequila hangover. It lasted 3 days. That was when I was upstairs in bed, and my mother comes in the room, and I was like 22, and she never gets upset with me. And she comes running in, screaming, "What the hell are you doing? And you get up and go move your car." And I'm like, and of course, you know, she's screaming. I wake up, and I have a massive head. I'm ready to throw up, and I'm like, what? So I go down. Go downstairs. I open up the front door, and the front of the car is touching the front steps, like. Now,
to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
I do not condone drinking and driving, and I should have never been on the road. And I blame my friend for this. I will not name who this was. But I guess I can. No, I don't think you can. It wasn't Ray.
No, it wasn't going Ray. He always struck me as a responsible.
All right, who do you think it was?
Ronnie. So
we were at a party in Woodbury, and the guys friends of ours had just come back from Mexico. So they brought like the real. Yeah, they brought the real tequila back, real Mexican tequila.
Right.
And they brought these shot glasses that you could do shooters. And it was the first time I ever tried shooters. And shooters, if you don't know, it's like a tall shot glass, thick glass, and you put in a shot and 3/4 of tequila, and you put a quarter shot of, back then it was 7-Up, and you put a piece of something hard over it, and you slammed it on the ground, and it would foam, and you would drink the foam. And they went down so smooth, it was like cream soda. Mm. Well, after 22 of them.
Yeah, well, what could go wrong?
Right, what could go wrong? I was plastered, and I had to drive home, and I said to my buddy, "I can't drive." And he says, "Okay, I'll drive." Now, I remember the little green Chevette.
No, I met you right after that.
All right, I had that. It was a stick shift.
When I met you, you had that nuclear power to TC3.
Okay, yeah, that was the slip slide Horizon Glide. Mm-hmm. It was a Horizon. So he drives me to his house and says, "All right, I'm going to go in." So instead of taking me to my house, dropping me off, and taking my car home, he drives me to his house. Mine says, "Oh, you're only a mile away. You'll make it." So what do I know, right? I get out of the car. I go around. I get in the driver's side, and I go to try to drive, and I go from first gear to like fourth gear, and I couldn't even shift. That's how drunk I was.
Oh, wow.
So I got in first gear, and I drove all the way home in first gear, up on the lawn.
The clutch is smoking.
Whee!
The tachometer's pinned.
Yeah, tag's pinned. I drove all the way home in first gear. I couldn't shift. I drove up the curb, up the lawn, and parked the car where the front bumper was touching the steps. I stumbled out of the car, crawled up the steps, and went to bed. And, you know, my mom came out and was like, "Get out of here." I was going to Camden County at the time.
Right.
I was going to Camden County College. So she's like, "Go downstairs and take your car and put it out in the street." I'm like, "Mom, I'm still drunk. I don't even know if I can get it back out in the street. Here's the keys." I gave her the keys, and I went back to bed.
Yeah. What were you opposed to do? What
was I opposed to do? I was being Pacific. I felt like I had ammonia. So
I'd rather be hungover.
Yeah. So that's
a hell of a lot more fun than this. Not this podcasting, I mean, but this having the pneumonia.
Right.
All right, I didn't see the debate either, okay, because I was in a coma. And I became aware of this dude like maybe 11 o'clock when I came downstairs. Diane's at work, Wise is at work. I turn on the TV, and this big, like, you know, this dude is just on TV. You know, he's a heavy dude. He's balding. He's got like that Mr. Whipple mustache going on, glasses,
right,
you know. And, you know, kind of a nebbishy kind of a guy. And they're talking, "Oh, the sensation that you made, you know, yesterday during the debate." Well, you know, and he's going on talking about it. And they played his question, and it was a pretty good question. I was like,
Hang on. This stupid thing's going to play, and I can't stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, he asked his question, and Hillary and Trump both take a shot at answering and addressing it because it was a town hall style meeting. And now this guy's like, he was trying to like, this is the problem that I have with people at large now with social media, because now this guy got a little bit of fame. I mean, it was kind of a good thing. You think, wow, here's a citizen that's getting involved in the process. It all started out so well, but then this guy, it turns out,
he's a rotund man in a red sweater who went viral after his question during the second presidential debate has come under fire after a series of comments he supposedly made online were unearthed. So apparently Ken Bone, and that sounds like a made-up name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if that was my real name, I'd change it.
Yeah, really. Who walks around as Ken Bone?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That had to be a hoot that we had attendance taken during school, like last name first.
You know what? Ken Bone would be an excellent male homosexual porno star name.
Well, I knew I was going to go there with that. Not the first thing that pops into my mind, but okay.
Sorry. Just telling you how I feel. Go ahead.
But, okay, well, then it comes out that the guy's got some peculiar sexual fetishes that he's talked about online. He's commented on the Trayvon Martin incident in Florida. This guy's kind of like, he's just one of these people that is like a rash on Facebook, on social media or whatever. And somehow this guy got picked to be in the audience. All right. And it makes you wonder, like, where are the rational people? I mean, I consider myself pretty rational. Right. I consider you pretty rational.
Pretty rational.
Why aren't we in these town hall meetings with the candidates? You know what I mean?
Now, to be honest, I can't even cut that out. That's so funny.
Say that one more time.
Exactly. This is from Fox News.
Right.
The article's from Fox News. So then what they do is they put in the reactions from Twitter. Now, Twitter, you can be anybody. I was Coach Andy Reid on Twitter years ago. Right. I had 1,700 followers. And all I would do is I'd go in, and when the Eagles were playing, I would go in there and I would tweet like I was Andy Reid, and everybody loved it. Like, they would be a bad play, and I would say, boy, if I could lift my leg high enough, I'd kick that guy right in the ass.
Right.
And everybody loved it. So Twitter, you can't. So there's like, here's Sophie, and it's at Ugh Revolution. We hate Ken Bone now. Yeah. And then Glenn Griffin. We knew this day was coming. Hashtag Ken Bone is actually a horrible person. So, and then here's this guy. He is a chucklehead. I don't even know. So he's got a red sweater tied around his neck and a black T-shirt. And he's got a picture of himself like in an Andy Warhol kind of painting. Right. And it just says Bone at the bottom.
I mean, this guy, he started like his own network.
Yeah, well, this is his Twitter. Yeah. Buy a one-way ticket to the Bone Zone.
Bone Zone, yeah.
Join the movement. So, yeah, he's probably trying to make a couple $100 selling T-shirts online.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what's wrong with the country.
But the guy wanted to make a few dollars. He got himself on. It's like
everyone is so self-immersed, it seems, on this.
Sure,
not everybody, but it certainly seems like the more that you look around at this stuff, when things like this happen, and these people come out. I mean, the media makes these people, and overnight that they can tear them right down. I mean, on Tuesday, that's when I'm first finding, or Monday, that's when I'm first finding out about the guy. Wednesday, the guy's launching a website. And then by the end of the week, he was toast. You could stick a fork in him. He was so done.
Right. He didn't make any money out of it. He tried. They won't even remember who he is next week.
Right. Until the next flavor of the week.
Right. Till the next dope comes out with something. I was, again, on Facebook, and I saw this video for a podcast. So, me, I love podcasts, so I clicked. I said, what's this guy doing? And he's standing there, and he's got like a suit jacket on, and he's standing in front of a bookshelf full of old books, old bound books, and they're all behind him. And he's sitting there talking about politics and all. And I'm thinking to myself, this is so wrong in so many ways. It's like he positioned himself to make this video in front of all these old books. He's got a jacket on. So it's like, hey, listen, I know what I'm talking about. I probably never opened one of these books behind me. okay? But I'm going to put them there so you all think that I'm smart. Now me, you know me, I take my videos in the truck, with a stupid hat on.
Right.
So I have no
With a
credibility.
coffee cup in your hand.
With a coffee cup in my hand. But, this guy, and I wish I remembered the name of the podcast. I'd give him a shout out. But again, he has a podcast. And, again, I think he was bashing one of the candidates, whether it was Hillary or Trump. I can't remember which one. But, and he's like above them. Like, oh, well, you say this, but let's just be realistic. He's like talking down about whatever he was talking about. It just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Very
elitist.
Yeah, frosted my cornflakes. I didn't even know I never heard of Ken Bone until you put this up here.
Right.
I mean, is he from Florida?
I don't even know where he's from. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he might be, just based on his
demeanor,
his inflection and the way he speaks. I think he might be from.
He might be from the Midwest.
I think, I'm thinking like the Ohio, maybe stretching up into,
I'm thinking more Kansas, Iowa.
I don't think he's that.
Nebraska.
I was getting more like the Ohio, maybe Pennsylvania, possibly in the where we live kind of a thing.
I got you.
Pushing east. I don't know where he is. Don't care actually, but
So he asked both candidates.
Well, his question was what they would do regarding energy in this country, and then Hillary asked, "Well, I take it you must be in the fossil fuel industry," and and he specifically named fossil. So whether that means he's in coal or he's in gas or natural gas or petroleum or whatever, I don't know. So I saw the question. Well, that's a pretty good question.
So let me ask you this, just not being politics. What is the problem if we get off of fossil fuel? What would be the problem with that? Don't you think that would be if we could find renewable energy that doesn't cost a fortune, like gas? Wouldn't it be better to do that?
It would be better if it was as cheap as fossil, and it's not. That's the problem.
Well, not right now, but, it's the
right.
technology.
And it's never going to be that way.
Well, you say that. Wait, stop. Hold on.
Let me make my point. Let me finish once again.
Go ahead.
It's never going to be that way until it gets you have to let the government get out of it. The government did not help out the petroleum industry when it first started out. It was in competition with steam and coal, and petroleum won because it was the cheapest bang for the buck to get that energy out of the ground, and it had enhanced our lives, in so many ways. Mm-hmm. Now, renewable, wind doesn't blow all the time, sun doesn't shine all the time. Great ideas, but one party wants that to be all that there's going to be. They don't want no fossil whatsoever.
Well,
and that's impossible. Where's this magical? Where's that going to come from?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying that if you
that's what the issue is.
Right. I think now it's become a thing of Big Brother. Like everybody, not everybody. I hate when I do that. I do that a lot. A lot of people now are going to a minimalistic lifestyle because it's something that they can
I was going to bring that up.
Because they can maintain that. So, if you want to go somewhere and you can have, a windmill and some solar panels or something, and you can live your life with minimal power and all, the government doesn't want you disconnecting from the grid.
Oh, I think they do.
They fine you. They say you can't do that. You can't disconnect from the grid.
No, I think people want. I was listening to the Weeds podcast and getting back to like laying near death and pneumonia.
Right.
Okay. I don't watch TV. All right. But when I was really sick, I didn't want to be in bed that sick with Diane. So I went downstairs and was just lying on the couch watching TV.
Gotcha.
And that's where I'm finding out like where all the freakish stuff is on.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had no idea like these tiny houses were even a thing.
Oh, no, they are.
Yeah. They used to be just called, I think Jess was right when he said, yeah, we used to call them trailers. Now it's a tiny home. Okay. They're not that cheap, first of all. And I think it's horrible. I bet they think great. This is great until that tornado comes and just sweeps them away. But this one issue, the first one I was watching, this married couple, they have 2 kids. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, they have 1 kid. She's pregnant with the second one. And they're going to downgrade from a 900 square foot home. A 900 square foot home isn't that big.
Small, very small.
Right. I mean, I don't know how big the places you're living in.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking a 900 square foot home is the size of a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
Somewhere
That's
around
what
that.
I'm. Maybe 2 small 2-bedrooms.
A very small 2-bedroom.
Right. Galley kitchen, probably.
Right.
I mean, because remember my condo in Cherry Hill?
Yes.
Right. I was $780.
Right.
I remember
right around
that.
there.
Okay. So if you threw another bedroom in that was right around about 950.
Right.
All right. These two maniacs, all right, they're going to be like, I mean, you do what you want, live like you want. Don't force me to live like that.
No one's forcing anybody. They just
no,
want to be able
what
to
I'm
get it.
saying is, if you want to do that, if that flies your freak flag, you go for it. So they're going to have this house built. Now she's going to have a baby. Mm-hmm. And the 4 of them are going to live in a 260 square foot trailer.
Okay.
I mean, where's the Department of Health and Human Services for this this baby that's coming?
Well, I mean, I understand.
I'm thinking, how is that not bad for the baby?
Let's go back.
An infant, I'm talking about.
Let's go back 70 years. Okay. Let's go back to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Where they had those little row homes.
That I lived in.
That you lived in, that a lot of people.
With 3 bedrooms.
Okay. But
and 1.5 bath. And a kitchen. And a dining room.
Wait a minute. There's not the ones I've seen. The ones I've seen, you can almost, if you laid across the floor and put your arms out, you could almost touch from side to side. Mm-hmm. And I'm exaggerating. It's probably, if I could go, maybe they're 20 foot across. 20 foot.
Were they 3-story homes?
No, you know what it's like over in South Philly. Are they 3? They could be 3, maybe.
Yeah, back in the portions of South Philly, those were known as Father, Son, Holy Ghost homes because, like you said, they're so narrow that they spread everything out over 3 floors. And
there was only 1 bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have 1 bathroom now. I don't. You lived in the Taj Mahal row homes if you had 3 bedrooms, to bath and a half, and a big giant kitchen. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. But
the kitchen wasn't big and giant. I mean, the kitchen might have been, when you're a kid, everything seems larger. Right. But I'm going to say the kitchen was probably 10 by 10 with a kitchen table. But don't forget, there was no dishwashers then.
Right.
You had a refrigerator and you had a stove, and that was it.
Right. So, I mean, and people would have families of 8.
Right.
Like you would sleep in double bed if a double bed, you were lucky, a single bed with your brother until one of them got married and moved out of the house or went into the service. And there would be 4 daughters, 4 sons, the mother and the father. The mother and father had a bedroom, and if there was 3 bedrooms, there would be a girl's bedroom and a boy's bedroom.
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing. Where, isn't it kind of the same thing?
No, you're talking 260 square feet.
But how many square feet? Okay, even if you go up 3 stories, I mean, how much? I mean, you're stacking them in there like firewood. And I understand.
You still have a kitchen, an actual kitchen. You still have an actual.
They have an actual kitchen. There's
an actual
stove.
Family room in the front of the house or dining room. Actually, it was all one big room, to be honest with you.
Right.
And where we lived in the near the Grays Ferry section.
Okay.
We lived in Marston Street. It's between Tasker and Reed and 28th and 29th Street.
Okay. So
now it's a demilitarized zone, but of course, so
I got you. But what I'm saying is that, if they want to downsize and live on their own where they can use the renewable energy and not have to pay the man and, all that kind of stuff.
And the whole coming attractions thing, I get the whole thing. I think these people, they say baby boomers are selfish. These millennials that are on these shows, I mean, they're really, really selfish.
No, I know.
It's because they're always saying, yeah, because we don't see why we have to be beholden to a job just to have a house, and we can do what we want. So in other words, okay, so this tells me that you would rather not work, and you're going to do what's necessary to have the bare minimum to do that.
But you got to realize that things are changing. It's not like it was even when we were getting jobs. There was a lot of jobs to be had. Now, not so much. And what people are doing now is you can't just have. We're almost like it's what you're saying in the beginning of this podcast was true. Is that they're bringing this country down to other countries where you have to have 2 and 3 part-time jobs to make the money to live, and you have to have. They don't call them jobs now; they call them income streams. So you have to have several
revenue streams.
Streams. Yeah, you have to have revenue streams coming in. All right. And you have to have like 2 or 3 or 4 different revenue streams to come in just to make it, because you can't go to a job anymore where you get benefits and, paid days off and paid vacation. They're few and far between. And even if you did work at a job, and we're lucky to listen, I know people now that are my age that were working for $27, $28 an hour, all right, at a job where they had, it was an accounting job. And now they were downsized and they're trying to get work again. And the only jobs that they can find doing the same exact thing are $15 to $17 an hour. That's half the money. Did anything change? Nothing's changed.
And it's going to get worse when they make the minimum wage that much.
Well, I mean, if they make the minimum
because
wage,
now you're already at that rate. Now where do you go?
Exactly.
Then these people are effed.
Right. So now what happens is a lot of people are doing entrepreneurship because that's the only game in town. You got to go make your own. You got to go make your own money.
Right.
You can't go work for anybody.
But what
else.
do you think changed in this country? You didn't hear any of this crazy talk of, I don't want to be a bird. I like stuff.
Right.
I mean, I'm the biggest consumer out there. I love my stuff, and I will do whatever it takes to keep my stuff. If I'm not using said stuff, I'll get rid of that stuff and get more stuff that I like using.
Right.
So it's just like, when I don't get this whole, I'm going to move from, if they were like saying, yeah, we have a 3,000 square foot house and we just don't really see it, so we're going to downsize it. Downsize it from 960 to 260.
Now, again, they're
960 isn't a whole lot of house.
Listen, let's go back another a year and a half after they have a little kid and a newborn in a house.
I want to see how many of these people stay married.
That's exactly where I was going. I want to see how. Yeah, we're gonna have little divorce court where these people move into little homes and they drive themselves crazy and they get a divorce.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to have your own space. I mean, having someone up your ass like an open umbrella every single time you're,
I hear you. And here's the other thing, and this is because I like that. I think there is the tiny house movement, and there's also a minimal house movement where the houses are bigger than tiny houses, but they're smaller than regular houses.
But they're trailers.
No, these are not. These aren't trailers.
Oh, okay. That's only these tiny homes.
Yeah, some of them you're right. Some of them are trailers.
You got to go to a trailer park.
You know what they're doing now? They're taking those used containers that they use for shipping.
C-vans.
Yeah. They're taking them and they're making them into homes.
Yeah,
and stuff
I've
like
seen
that. Well, they're taking them now and they're putting a bathroom and a bedroom and a small kitchen and stuff like that. And their plan is to give them to homeless vets.
Now, see, that makes sense to me because those things are modular.
Exactly.
You could keep bolting them together and and you can stack them.
Right. And then you can stack them and then you can move them and you can drop them into different places. Yeah, that does make sense. So, but here, again, with the millennials, and again, they're younger, so they don't have stuff yet. And their thing is like, guess what? We don't really want to, we don't want a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, well, this girl, she's a musician.
Yeah.
Okay. Like she's, I don't know which.
Well, you remember how it is when you were 20. You got all these ideas and then,
No, she is a musician. She's like, I'm not talking like, yeah, dude, I'm a musician. I mean, she had like a violin, a full-size cello,
right,
an acoustic guitar, and some other classical instrument.
Right.
She might have actually had a bass. I'm not even sure, but she had, and beautiful wood, the whole thing.
Where are we going with this?
Well, my sister's going to keep this one for me, and then my other sister's going to keep this one for me. I can only take the violin because it's small enough. It's like, I'm like, I mean, did this guy talk you into this? I mean, is this like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing? I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around it at all.
Okay, we're back there. But here's the thing. It's like, if she's a musician, and just say you're a musician right now, and you're a starving musician or a writer or a podcaster, an artist. Yeah. All right, and you want to go do that instead of trying to live somewhere where you're paying $900 a month for rent for a shit shack or something like that, and the utilities and all that other kind of crap. You can get a small house like this and live minimally, where right now your focus is on your art and your career or their lack of, and you do that. At least you're not becoming a burden where you run up all these bills and then walk away from them. Like my biggest thing now is all these student loans, the kids and the parents. The parents are as much at fault too, because they're like, okay, they signed for them. And now it's like they go and they spend, I don't know how much money in student loans, and they get out and they can't get a job because, like I said, all the jobs now are $15 an hour, and you get a job, you can't live. What you're doing is you're making enough money to pay back your student loans, and it goes on for years.
Yeah. Well, also there's a lot of useless degrees out there.
Right. So now they want it. Now they're like, well, we can't make any money. Yeah. Well,
right.
Well, we don't want to pay the loan back. Why? We said we pay money, and this was so you could go to school, and you were going to pay us back. Well, I can't make money. Not my fault.
Yeah.
You went and spent 4 years at a college, and you spent all this time where you
They took the money in good faith.
Yeah, they took the money, but now they don't want to pay it back. And then who's going to take it on? Who's going to take it on the chin? Who has to pay it back? Jackass. Exactly.
Right. Jackass always takes it up the ass.
Jackass always takes it up the ass. If you don't think that's going to be a soundbite, you're out of your cotton picking mind.
Well, it wasn't Jackass's intention. Jackass was speaking off the cuff. Jackass was pissed.
But anyhow, so it just seems to me that like we're kind of in a change now where things that were status quo need to be looked at and reevaluated on how you want to live.
Saying the employment situation isn't that hard to solve. It's just no one has the guts to do what needs to be done.
Well, you know me. You know how I'm big on conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm. Which one now?
This is one I made up myself.
Oh, so you're writing your own.
I'm writing my own. Fuck all these other people.
Gotten tired of that, like 9/11 was an inside job thing. Huh?
Right.
You've moved on.
I moved on. And it actually kind of rolls into what you were saying where, you know, that you can't bring everybody else up to the United States. So what they're going to do is bring the United States down to every other country. So there's no more first world country. We're all third world countries. And my thing is that why were we such a force in World War I and World War II and the Korean War and even the Vietnam War? Why were we so much of a force? Why did we do so well in those wars? I'm asking a question. I'm asking you the question.
Well, basically, not so much Vietnam, but in my opinion, we fought wars the way you're supposed to fight wars. You kill more of their guys than they kill of yours at a faster rate, and you bring them to their knees and they surrender.
Yeah, but even in World War II, when we got blindsided at Pearl Harbor.
We weren't in the war yet.
We weren't in the war. I understand, but that was our,
That's what brought us in.
And we lost like a huge amount of our fleet.
It wasn't a huge amount, but it was.
We lost a pretty good amount. I mean, don't get me wrong. We didn't have our aircraft carriers weren't in there.
I think we lost 6 battleships.
Yeah, but a lot of them were damaged, like really, really damaged. And they were all brought back up again and repaired. And they got back into the fight. Mm-hmm. How did that happen? That happened because we had a big manufacturing ability in this country. We made our own steel. We manufactured. We were making cars. Guess what? We're not making cars anymore. We're making planes. You know, we're not making cars anymore. We're making tanks. We're making Jeeps. We're making all these things for the war effort.
Yeah.
What if that happened?
He warned the emperor not to bomb the United States because he went to school here. He saw Detroit and he saw Texas.
Right.
And he was like, "Gee, you can't beat these people. They'll outproduce you."
Okay, so now what happens? We don't produce anything anymore in this country.
No.
So if anybody comes in here to invade us, what do? It would be over before we could tool up to make anything. And I just have a feeling that that's what that they're just taking us out by the knees because they're moving all our manufacturing to China and India and Mexico.
Well, that's it. They want this one world vision, I think, is what they've got in their mind.
Right. But see, now if anything goes down,
you could bring the wealth back to this country and fix the employment. It's just simple. You close the border. Okay. Now there's no more. You fix the leak. If your house is leaking,
right.
What do you do? Well, fix the inside or you fix the roof first?
But again,
fix the roof
why
first.
Are people
stop the leak?
Okay. So the water's leaking in, or you're going to say stop the leak, stop the immigration in here. Why is
stop the illegal immigration?
Okay. All right. Let's go with illegal immigration. I'll even give you that. Stop the illegal immigration. Why are they coming here illegally? Because it's better here than it is where they are. Correct.
And that makes it okay.
I didn't say no. I didn't say it was okay. What I'm saying is they're coming here because it's better here than where they are. They can make more money here. They can make money here and send it home, and they can live here. And the money that they send home, they can they can support their family. All right, because that's the way it is here. I mean, if you started to bring back manufacturing jobs and you ran it where I know when I was in the elevator business, they had a whole thing where it was an I-9 form that you had to fill out. And you basically had to prove that you were a citizen in this country to work for that company. Like you couldn't just go buy a Social Security card and something like that and then be able, you had to really prove that you were a United States citizen to work. So even if you didn't fix the leak and you brought jobs back in here, good paying jobs that people could do, but companies won't do that because they can do other things and make more money. And what happens is this country, our country, there's so much red tape in everything that you need to do that it's like, gee.
Well, that's it. It's the overregulation.
It's the overregulation, yeah.
If you stop, you seal the border, you control it.
Okay.
Now you know who's coming in, who's coming out, who's coming in on a work visa, who's not.
Mm-hmm.
All right. People don't understand that jobs and salaries are just like the laws of supply and demand. When the economy's good and there's lots of jobs are out there, wages go up because now the employers have to compete for the workers. Right now, there are no jobs, and we have a surplus of people that don't belong here, taking the jobs away from people that do want to work, that would love to have a job, but they can't. So what you have to do is you have to remove that obstacle out of the block. The second part is you're absolutely right. You got to deregulate some of these red tape that is created by unelected bureaucrats in the FDA, the FTC, the EPA, the EPA is the worst offender probably.
EIO.
You got to lower the corporate income tax from 35% to 20% like it's in Canada. Now you can bring the money that's overseas back, repatriate the money. Then you can start hiring people. Then you can start making stuff here. But as long as the corporate income tax is 35%, companies aren't going to do that. They're going to keep their money parked offshore.
Right. And again, because...
And who's going to pay the bill for that?
I'm telling you right now.
We get stuck.
Who gets stuck? Jackass.
Right. And this leads to why we don't make anything in this country. One of the leading reasons that's why we don't make anything here.
Right. So and
then if you do make something here, everyone talks. I just bought a brand new leather jacket.
Yeah.
Okay. It was $605.
Look at you.
Very striking. You know why it was $605?
Because it was made in America.
You're goddamn right. I says, but that company makes a similar version that's imported, and that one is $299.
So you went out and spent, let me do the math.
With the shipping and handling, it was $605.
So you spent double because it was made in America.
Because it was made in America. And that's the difference. And people go out there, I would buy American if I could.
Hey, bullshit.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you won't.
No, you wouldn't.
You're over there in Walmart.
Exactly.
Getting the rollback, and everything's made in another land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was self-employed, and people, I used to hear that all the time. Oh, yeah, I would buy it. They don't.
No.
They say that they would, but they don't. There's nothing made here anymore.
Well, and again, I got
for the most part.
I was talking to the Jimmy the other day.
It's the Jimmy.
It's the Jimmy.
What do you do? What do you do?
And so it was just a simple discussion as he's got a truck, and he has a landscaping business, and Jimmy does.
So he needs a major truck.
He's a rule follower. Yeah, but all he's got is a dually. He's got a 4-door Chevy dually. It could be, you could drive a family around in it. It's not like it's made for what he does. It's not just a work truck. It's a nice truck. It's got a nice truck.
What I'm saying by a major truck, if he's in landscaping,
right,
he's hauling heavy weight around at times.
So now
machinery, whatever.
So now they're passing a law in New Jersey that to drive a truck like that, since it's a commercial, now you have to put commercial tags on it. Okay.
CDL tags?
Well, commercial tags. Now you've got to have physical every year, and you've got to go through everything that they do for over the road. To drive a truck, just because, now listen, it's got commercial tags on it because, if he's caught towing a commercial trailer around and stuff like that to do landscaping, he'll get in trouble. But that same truck, that same exact truck could be tagged non-commercial, and he would need none of that. So now he's got to go through all that nonsense and all this, and now he's got to put the gross weight on the side of the car.
Right.
He's got to have a fire extinguisher. He's got to have road flares. He's got to have triangles. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, my uncle had that with his van. What he wants to do with the gross weight, if you want to give him a tip, don't get that painted on there or put stickers on. Or what you do is you go into those truck places with the magnets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to right.
And just get a magnet made. And you slap it on the truck when you're driving it for work, and that's it.
Right. And then here's another thing. So here's a perfect example. So now that truck is rated for an amount of weight that you don't need to go through inspection with it. Matter of fact, you're not allowed to go through inspection with it. All right. You can't have a sticker on it. So he doesn't have a sticker. He's got commercial tags. Well, the police in the area, they're looking for stickers. So all of a sudden they see, here comes the Jimmy, and he's got no sticker. So they pull him over because he has no sticker. And then he's got to tell them, well, listen, I can't have a sticker. And they're like, we don't have a sticker. He's like, well, that's because it's a commercial vehicle. They don't even know the laws. So here you are, you're in a Donnybrook over all this nonsense. And it's ridiculous.
Right. That's exactly why I always say, ever since I was self-employed, the best business to go into is to start your own state.
Yeah.
It's because you can just do anything you want, rape, plunder, pillage, steal money, hand over fist, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop you.
No, you make your own laws, make your own rules. And again,
every mistake is always in your favor.
You know, Jimmy, he's a rule follower. He follows the rules.
Yeah.
And see, I couldn't be in that business because I'd be like, you know what?
Okay, good. You.
Part of my rattle.
I hear you, but I couldn't. I was no way that I'd be. It doesn't make any sense. There's no common sense to it.
Oh no, never any.
See,
common
and I'm
sense
a common sense kind of guy. If you can't tell me why I need to do that with common sense, if you can't use common sense for why you made that rule,
well, the town that you remember where my store was.
Yeah.
Right, here you go. These are just money grabs, regardless of who's doing it, the town or the county or the state or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I served soft pretzels. I didn't make them. They were just delivered to me.
Right.
Donuts.
Right.
And what the hell else did I have? Oh, I brewed fresh coffee. I had my coffee station. Okay, so you need to have a Board of Health inspection. That was the extent of the food that I served. That was it. Everything else was wrapped. That was it. So here comes the county every year. Man, we're going to do your health inspection. Okay, go ahead, have at it. And they would inspect and crawl and look under things and shine lights and vents and everything. And say, yep, everything's good. Here's your certificate. That's $20. Okay, here's your $20. I'm good for a year. Well, then the borough of Runnymede would come in and say, oh, we're here for your health inspection. Well, I just had my health inspection. You did? No, we got you scheduled for now. So, well, what's that there? Oh, that's from the county. This is from us.
Get out.
So
get out.
Serious as a heart attack. So now they have to go and do the same exact thing that they did, but their bill might have been $25 or $30. So how does the town supersede the county?
Good day, sir.
It makes no sense. It's things like that drive me crazy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's a shakedown. And
it's exactly what it is.
If somebody came in, like a mafia member.
The other aspect of it, there was no mercantile, at least then. I don't know what happened now. So he's like, well, this town doesn't want a mercantile license off me, so they're getting me for $25.
What the hell is that?
A mercantile license, that's where you have to have a license to do business in the town that you're in. I don't know, maybe if you have that down there in where you live. So my dad had one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's ridiculous the amount of.
Oh, my dad! You want to hear my dad's? His was in Voorhees. His business was in Voorhees,
right?
And it was $50 a year for a mercantile license.
And that was back in the day when $50 was like a half a week's pay.
Oh, wait for this one! It was $50 up until about 1985, and then it went to $500 a year.
That's it.
Now, it went up 1,000% in 1 year.
Right.
It went from 500 to 50 to 500 in 1 year.
And
come on.
And nobody was. It's just like this. Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Close your store and go out of business?
No,
over 5. That's how they got you.
Who's got to pay for it?
Jackass.
And why? Because Jackass always takes it up the ass.
Right.
There we go. I got me saying it and you saying it. All right. You know what? My head hurts now. I can't get in here solving the world's problems. I'm spent. So first of all, I'm glad your ammonia's getting better.
Yeah. Thank God that ammonia's going away.
Say that one more time.
Nah, really, in all seriousness, it's good to be doing this again because that was a pretty rough week and a half.
I'm getting T-shirts made, and the T-shirt's going to say, "I'd rather be podcasting." You want one?
Yeah, sure, why not? Michael Corleone did this, and Michael Corleone did that. I said, whatever.
I guess not.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting that question. That's all.
I stumped them.
I'm like hanging on, like, what?
And we also got a iTunes review from Jason Bryant, my friend Jason Bryant, who he actually had a Camden County College wrestling shirt on the list.
Oh, wow.
I was like, and he lives in Minnesota. So he sent a iTunes review, and he gave us a nice iTunes review, and he said, all right, now stop begging for iTunes reviews. So I guess I've been begging so much for him. So I guess right now what I'm going to do is beg for another one. So if you're listening to the show and you like the show, and if you're still listening, you have to like the show or you're just a sadist, go over to iTunes and click the link, and there's a place where you can give us a rating and review, and just give us a review. Just say, hey, you know what? You talk too much. Or you guys suck. Whatever you want to do. Just go over there and do it. And we're going to wrap this thing up. And
So you're not going to read the review?
Give me a second. Jeez, if this thing had outtakes, it'd be longer than the show. If I put the outtakes up, it would be longer than the show.
The outtakes and rejects show.
Right.
Nothing but.
I should do that one time. And he said, please, sir, may I have some more reviews? Here you go, John. Quit bitching now. Okay. The show is funny as hell. So thank you, Jason, for that review. And see, that's all you need to do. We're up to how many reviews now? 6. We have 6 whole reviews. And you know what? I don't see any here from your work buddies. None.
Yeah, they're busy.
They're all busy. Well, double speed Mike, he should be able to do it. He's got plenty of time now because he does everything at double speed. Is it double speed, Mike?
Is it 1.5 times? He might listen to some stuff at double speed.
Slow it down, Mike, and go over there and give us a review.
What are you going to do? Say that.
He said, he's talking about me again.
What do you think if you were to come in here and I'm going to... I'm losing it. I can't keep it together.
And what about the guy that was upset about Wonder Woman?
Oh, Dave, he's big. He's probably our number one fan.
Well, what did he say when I told him about?
No, he loved it. He was like,
walking around big smile.
I wasn't expecting that.
There you go.
So, yeah.
And Dave, do I see a review here on iTunes? I'd have to say no.
No, because Dave's busy.
Sorry, Dave. All right, let's get out of here, all right?
It was great to be back.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. And you know what? Do whatever you want. Who cares? We're out of here.
Live free or die.
All right. See ya. See you next time.